let's look at it this way. Yesterday, I ran something on my Instagram where I ran some kind of statistics asking people, are you satisfied with your school system? I'm just going to share the screen for a couple of seconds, and I'm going to show you the percentage right here. So let's go. All right. Can you guys see here? We got 83% of people saying, are you satisfied with the school system? They said no. All right. On my second post, 70% of the people said also no. All right. Now, let's get back to, where's my screen over here? Let's get back to it. So I want to ask you a question. Why aren't people satisfied with their actual learning from their school system? Well, there's a lot of reasons. I'm not going to here justify everything why people say it, but I'm going to tell you something. You might agree, you might not agree on this video. And let me tell you something. It's totally fine. In my Practical MBA Blueprint course that I teach, first day, first class, the first 15 minutes, all what I say is that in life, you can agree on stuff and you might not agree on other. And I'm totally okay with it, and you should be totally okay with it on anything. Like there's a terminology said we can agree to disagree. All right. So I'm going to tell you what my point is, and I want you to listen to your point, and let's see, like, comment below, like, what is your point of view and what's your perspective? All right. Let's cut into it. And again, this is a live recording. So first of all, I want to ask you a question. When you go to school, and what your parents tell you is, I want you to get 93%, 95%, 97%. I want you to get an A or an A plus, right? Or a GPA of 3.8 or 3.9. Now let's see what sinks in our mind at that time. What sinks in our mind is the margin of error that we're allowed to make is 5% or 7%, which is like 95 or 93. That's what our parents are expecting from us. So what happens is when we go to the school system, when we sit down and just get on the exam, we think so much before we put this pen on that paper and start solving the question because we're learned to get 93 and 90%. Now, there's nothing wrong with it at that time. But what happens is, as you got to get 90%, 93, 95, you just get scared more and more of you making errors and you failing. And if you think of it this way, when you tend to move to practical life, this is what happens. The school system taught us to always focus on not doing mistakes and always look for perfection. But when we go to practical and actual life, in business, in investing, you gotta screw up. You gotta what we call fail forward. And if we're getting taught that mistakes are something that's gonna negatively affect us and mistakes are wrong and we cannot handle the fact of us taking those, we're not gonna have the guts, or we're not gonna have the energy, or we're not gonna have the the confidence to just push in. We're not. And that's simple. So I want you to think it this way. If I got a 20-month-old daughter, and if from this moment she never saw, let's say, an alligator, all right? I'm gonna just give a rapid example. And I tell her the alligator is pink. The alligator is pink. The alligator is pink for 10 years. Then on her 10-year birthday, I take her to the zoo and she sees an alligator and suddenly the alligator is green. It's going to take her a lot of time to digest. And she's telling Muhammad, or Dad, why is this green? Right? Why is it not pink? That's what I've learned. And it's going to take a lot of time and effort and actual physical, visual things that she should see in order for me to convince her that it is not pink, it is actually green. So when we get kept fed in our mind that you gotta be perfect, what's gonna happen? Let me add on top of this. Most of the movies, the people that are rich are people that are violent. People that are serial killers, people that are gangsters, people that are part of the mafia or mobs or whatever. And our parents told us it's hard-earned dollars. Work hard for your money. And I can tell you, I've seen my dad, I've seen my mother. They worked so hard for the money to a point that it's still ingrained in my mind that there were like 10 cents on the ground. And once it's like, I was like, it fell from me. It's like, I'm not going to pick it up. My mom that day told me, Muhammad, pick it up. That's hard-earned dollars that your dad worked for. So when we get ingrained, again, hard-earned dollars, you need to work hard in order for you to get the money. You need to work so hard in order for you to obtain the money. And at the same time, money is evil. Money is bad. And that's what we see in the movies. Let me tell you my ideology and analysis of what money is. Money is an amplification. I want you to write this down. Money is an amplification of who you are. You got a lot of money. If you're a good person, you're going to help good people. And you're going to become a better person. If you're bad, money's just going to amplify that. That's my ideology. Now, again, you can agree, you can disagree. But what happens is, look at this. A lot of times we're just driving in our BMWs or Mercedes or Audi or whatever, right? We're driving our car and a person with a Lambo just passes by. What we say is like, look at that jerk. All right, look, or he's just like, he flew by. It's like, yeah, he was born with a golden spoon. Don't we see that? Maybe not everybody. But because we had this ideology in our mind that, okay, he has money, he's bad. He's evil. Who did he steal from? Who did he rip out the money from? What bank does his dad own? Or what did he inherit? Unfortunately, that is exactly what's going on in our mind. Why? So if I go through a school system that doesn't teach me how to work with money, that doesn't teach me how to run my business. I'm an MBA graduate, and you guys know that, and that's why I run the Practical MBA Blueprint, because I see that the MBA itself did not actually help me in terms of real life in the way that I really actually want it to be implemented in terms of leadership, culture, whatever. Like a lot of it is discussed into the Practical MBA, and I got 14 students out of it, so you can always ask them. But I want to tell you, if what's ingrained in our mind is school system, you got to be perfect. And business needs you to screw up. You need to fail forward. And at the same time, it's not telling you how to deal with money. And it's telling you, the movies are telling you the money is evil. This is all ingrained. It's similar to the pink alligator or the purple alligator. I'm not sure what color I told you guys. But like, this is the same ideology. And I want to end up with something. And if you're an engineer, if you're an accountant, you deal with numbers, you're really precise. You can't afford mistakes. You were taught that a mistake in a calculation could cost people life to be lost. I can tell you, you need 10 times more desire to start a business than anybody else. Because we analyze, I'm an engineer myself, and I'm an MBA graduate, so I got this accounting background also. Long story short, what you're going to do is you're going to analyze every single bit. But let me tell you one thing. I started analyzing every single bit, and each time I did not work. I did not move forward. Because what I did is I speculated what might happen and what might not happen, and I estimated the worst thing, and I wanted to find every single tool before I even start. 4 things. And I can tell you what I did is in my Practical MBA Blueprint, it's my success story. In MHAT Consulting, which I'm doing a lot of consultancy right now, one-to-one coaching, business consultancy, new product development. And I'm bringing in tens of thousands of dollars every single month just working and providing my service. I can tell you one thing, that a lot of the problems that I'm facing now are problems that I knew that I'm going to face. But when I started the business, I'm like, this is not a problem I need to look at right now. I'm going to figure that later. I know it's coming. My old me, my old ideology, my old engineer said, Mohammed, analyze everything. Analyze everything before you put the pen on before you start crossing. You need to cross every single T, you need to dot every single I before you even start writing. And this is where I believe that the school system had been so ingrained into me that I had to spend almost 2 years of private consultancy and private coaching with Tony Robbins, with Dan Lok, Grant Cardone, all right, Gary Vee, Dean Graziosi, Russell Brunson, books, everything, just to ingrain this out of my mind and to me to get where I am right now. And when I say what I am right now, I'm talking about me in the progress of actually getting rid of overanalysis and knowing that failure is part of the process. And I'm going to tell you something. There's a book called by Robert Kiyosaki, Why A Students Work for C Students. There's a reason. Because A students want to play it safe, and C students are learned how to fail and how to do wrong mistakes. And that's why they open companies, they start and establish. I'm going to leave you with this thought. And again, it's not a very, I'm going to leave you with this and I'm going to let you decide. I want you to comment below. There's a reason why a lot of the big companies have CEOs and founders that did not graduate from school, that did not graduate from high schools or universities. There's a reason. Now, you might look at it as a pattern, but there's a reason behind this pattern. I'm not going to go into it, but long story short, if there's a pattern, then there's definitely something that we need to look at. So if I want to give you one advice, if you want to leave this video with one advice, just write it down, put it on your board, put it on whenever you want to put it. Do not overanalyze and do not over-speculate. Move forward. Failure is part of the process, and overthinking is because you're afraid of failure. Do not be afraid of failure. Your success is built on failure. You need one product, one right idea to knock it down. One right idea. You might fail like 50, 20, 30. Any successful businessman has 30 failures, maybe 10 failures, 2, 5. But he has one good idea that made him who he is. Amazon, Apple, whatever you want to call it. So I'll leave you guys with that. Till then, fail forward. If you have a problem with failing forward, just tag me in. I'll try as much as possible to help you out. I do have a couple of people that we're working with coaching one-to-one in order for them to overcome that. But till then, rock it. And the school system really needs to be fixed. That's what I believe. Don't tell your kids that you need to get the high marks. Ask them one question. What did you fail in today? What is the failure that you failed in today? If you ask your kid this question, and every single day they need to come up with a failure, you're going to ingrain it that failure is the reason of success. I'll leave you with that. Take care. And till then, see you tomorrow or after tomorrow. It depends on what your time zone is. Have a good day.